Hi, this is Bill calling for Straight Circle Martial Arts, and this is how you destroy your opponent's structure. Fighting's game. You have to understand the game. You got to understand the rules. The rules are that if we're both in position of strength, then we're equal. But if he's bigger than me, it's not equal. He's in a position of strength because he's larger and we're both in structure. It's important that everything you do when you're in a fight is to keep him off balance so he can't hit you. So if he goes to hit me and he's off balance, or he goes to hit me and he's off balance, I don't care how hard he hits. If he's not in a position to where he can hit, he's not going to hit you. So the question is, how do you get there? That's not going to happen when you're out here, right? When you're doing this, that doesn't apply as much. The off balance happens because you hit them and hopefully you hurt them enough where they went off balance. Where it applies is when you're in close. So, for example, say I'm trapping, right? Worst thing I can do is go like this. If I'm going to do this, I either want to go in, and you see him move, or I want to come to me where you see him go like this, and you see him shift forward where I can hurt him. When he comes in this way, if I can spin it, elbows I'm a big fan of, right? Or you can shock him a little bit, I can hit him easier. A lot of times what happens is when you get into positions of fighting, is when we're like this, it's fine. But the minute we get into this tweener thing, where we're all kind of tied up and hands are in the way, most people, what they do out of panic is they just grab. Because they don't know what else to do. What you really want to do, ideally, if you want to hit them, if you're not a grappler, is when you come into these things, is you have to learn how to position people to hit them better. So when you're in tight and you're in close, if you can accelerate through them, and then you can get better shots to get in. You know, if he grabs me like this and I can off balance him, usually I do that, I pop him, bang. You see how he moves, and now I can get back to better stuff. There are times when you get grabbed that maybe you don't have a great shot, and just off balancing him get you space to hit. Every time I'm grabbed or something, if I can shift him a little bit, or if I get a hit and I don't like the next motion, I'll push him a little bit to set up the next one. I'm a real big fan of these. I love when guys come in and I get to a position, I hit him, and maybe I don't have a great second shot, so look, see that little push? Watch this over. Little push. Got it out of the way and I can continue my onslaught. Every time you're grabbed, you can push him, kick him, or bump him. That's important in a fight. People miss these. What they do is they either grab or they hit. But in the middle, there are a lot of times where you can get little things where you can set up your shot better, or you can just shift him a little bit to move him to get better shots. So if you watch his feet, right, he's in a good position. Ideally, what I'm trying to do is get him onto one foot. Anytime I can get him on his heels, or I can get him to 1 foot, then he moves very easily. And it's not a nice thing like I'm doing here. Like I'm doing this polite to teach you how to do it nicely. But when you're doing this for real, there's a lot of violence on it. You gotta have that acceleration. You gotta pop him a little bit, pop him. If you're gonna cup something and move it, you gotta pop it so you can move him and keep him off balance so you can keep hitting it. I'm telling you, it is very hard for him to hit me if he's in a position like this, or a position like this, or a position like this, where I can keep him off balance and I can keep moving him around. So another concept on this is you can push him and pull them, right? The more you keep people off balance, the better off you are. So if you get someone off balance, you come right into something, or you can get them that way and come into something. It works very well. So how do you learn this? So again, I'm going to tell you this, it's always slow. I get all these comments all the time of people who are like, want to be hard-ass guys, and they don't like watching slow work. But if you don't do it slow, how are you going to learn it? You speed up later, but you got to learn the idea first. Get partners, make sure they're compliant at first. Don't resist each other. Start working with people and studying how I can get them onto 1 foot. If I use my arms, can I turn him? Can I shift him this way? I pop him that way. I use my hands. Sometimes I'll push, right? I'll push to see how do I keep him off balance? How do I move him to a position that's not good for him? You can use forearms. You push people. You push people. You give them little pops, right? You try and see how you can keep them in a position of weakness. Shoulders, big fan. You know, you end up in a spot where you don't know what to do, you just drill him. You come in and you just pop him and just try and keep his feet moving. Hips, I like to bump people with these all the time. If I bump him, it gets me into better positions. Knees, I'm a big fan of too. Now, if you come in, you learn to pop people or just kind of clip them a little bit. The more he's off, the harder it is for him to hit me. You should go through every part of your body slowly and understand how to keep him off balance. And then what you do is you add things to it. So later down the road, maybe he goes to grab me, and I learn how to do this right away. You know, he grabs in, and I try to pop him, and see how I get him off balance? Now, these things are available because I moved him. And again, it's hard to show on film because I don't want to smack him with this so much. But in real life, that's what you got to do. It's not Tai Chi speed in real life. In real life, you got to put some juice on that thing and let them know it. So, start out easy, move people around, use your hands, your feet, your knees, your shoulders, whatever you got to do. And then what you do is practice moving them in between hits too. So maybe I hit, maybe I push him a little bit, I hit him again. Maybe I shove him a little bit, I hit him, I take him off balance, I hit him again. You start adding your offense with your motions to keep him in a bad spot. This also adds into joint locks too. Because if he's strong, I'm not going to joint lock him. If I pop him and shove him, you know, these get a little easier. I pop him, I keep him off balance, I go into something. Every time I off balance him, that gets a little easier. It's one of the most important secrets people don't learn in martial arts. Is whenever he's in a strong position, it doesn't help me to fight him. It's critically important that throughout this fight, if I don't get that first blow off that I really want, that I at least get him to a position where he can't hit me well, and I can take advantage of him. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave comments and ask questions. Thanks very much for helping grow the channel.